you to everybody. Hello, everybody. This adorable gentleman, I didn't realize you were so cute until we chatted in person, is Nate, who is a photographer, but also the founder of StickyAlbums, which is a new tool for photographers that I absolutely love, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So, Nate, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what it is so then we can talk about how we use it?
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me with this conversation. I've been looking forward to connecting at least over Skype for a while. I think you do great work. I've heard really good things about your work and the leadership position you have in the industry to help others. I think is really cool. So
Yeah.
So let's start with mobile. So that my background is in delivering training in my corporate day job before I left that to do StickyAlbums full time. Was to put training content on mobile devices. And so I took that experience. So how can I combine what I learned doing this with my passion, which is photography? And as soon as I did it, I knew it was bigger than me, and I had to bring this to other photographers. And so that's what StickyAlbums is about. And what really got my attention is the way that mobile is just changing things. It's changing the way that we're interacting with each other, the way business is done, and it's changing the way photographers have to do their business also.
True.
And so one of the quotes I like to use real quickly, just to set the stage about how big mobile is getting and how fast it's getting. So in the last 26 years that Apple's been around, they sold 122 million Macs. So that's a lot of computers. It's just like laptops, desktops, whatever it was. So 122 million. Well, in 2011, last year alone, Apple sold 155 million iPhones and iPads.
That is crazy.
In 1 year, they sold more mobile devices than they've ever sold computers.
That was 2011, you said?
Last year, and they're already kicking ass again this year. So I think that we could go on and on about how prevalent mobile is, but I think that one alone just helps set the stage. It's like mobile's here to stay, and we all have to have a strategy to deal with it. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to keep up.
Right.
And so that blew me away. Even though I was really into technology, I heard that and was like, wow, it's really here. Okay, so the next thing is the way I noticed that mobile is really making things social again. So yes, mobile lets us stay connected with the digital world wherever we're at, and that's fantastic. However, I've started to notice how people love to share and talk about their phones and their mobile devices when they're in person with one another.
That's so true.
And I thought that would kind of wear off after a year or two, but it's only growing. People love showing off their new phones. They love talking about what's on their phones.
Yeah, what apps do you have? Looking at your pictures, etc. Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely.
And so I think the real aha moment for me is when I was doing high school senior photography, and my little cousin who was a senior, I said, it was working for me when I would get those custom like brag books, and I would get them in the hands of their mothers. That was effective. I could get the moms to carry that in their purse. That'd be great. But the high school seniors, they were like, "Oh, cool, thanks." Like,
a little cheesy or a a little bit embarrassing. You mean the little tiny accordion albums, right?
Right.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
And they finally, it took my own cousin to say, "Nate, they're not cool. Like that just isn't." High school seniors do not want to carry stuff with them anymore. But guess what? They always have their phones with them.
Right.
And so I thought that StickyAlbums would be perfect. The whole time I thought it was geared towards the senior market because they're so tech savvy. But the cool surprise is that every niche of photography is loving StickyAlbums, at Bourgeois especially. So
I've given it to family clients and boudoir clients, and equal positive response. So agreed.
Awesome. Okay, so that was, see, the next thing so let's go into, I think that was kind of a good segue. Let's talk about how you've been using it and some of the early reactions you've had from your
Right.
customers.
Well, I have a solid price list and product, so I didn't want to mess with that at all. And I love to include surprises in the whole client experience and always looking for ways to add value to what I offer. So this came along and kind of fills both of those needs in addition to many others. But I like to give it as a total surprise. After the ordering session, I usually will email, follow up, and I just say, surprise gift for you. And they flip out because two things. One, they were expecting they'd have to wait to see their photos again until I got them their, CD or their album, their hardcover album. So this comes as a total surprise, like the day after, and they flip out because they can immediately start sharing their album with other members of their family. So it goes out to everyone. And then they all, they're really excited to share it with their friends, in particular, and other, their neighbors and everybody, the dad at work, etc. So that would be family, not boudoir. So yeah, they go crazy. And when you do something unexpected, I mean, there's other ways you can sell this as a product and create it as an incentive to get to a higher package. But I just love positive surprises. And, I think Seth Godin his quote is, surprise and delight is what equals word of mouth. So I'm always looking for those two elements, and this one is both. And not only that, it so puts in your hands a way to, increase word of mouth so easily because when they're showing their album to their friends, for instance, they have a way to contact me right away. It used to be like, oh, I've got these great photos. If, you should, a great photographer, her name is Christa, you should really get in touch. And then, they'd have to go back to their email and remember that and send my name and email address or, it might fall off. Right. But this, they can just immediately contact me and just go, hey, I'm here with my friend Jen, it's Chrissy, she loved the photos too, she wants more information, here's her email, and do it in 2 seconds, or even call me. So that's insane. That's absolutely insane, because even a business card can't do that. It can give them my name and number and email, but just to be able to, I found that really cool, and people love that go, oh, okay, we can contact her right now. So that's freaking awesome. And so I can go on and on, but another way that I use it, stop me if you want to, but another way that I love is, I never had business cards. I'm been in business 8 years, and I just got a business card this year, but they're really more like prop cards. They're fun. But since I do so many different types of photography, I know most people know me as a boudoir photographer, but I really keep busy doing a lot of other stuff. So whenever I'm out and about, I've found a real misstep of mine is I never have a way to talk about my stuff, especially not targeted to the individual, whether it's an entrepreneur or, the owner of a restaurant or, a boudoir client or a family client. So it's, I can't just give them something targeted. So with this, I can have my favorite albums from the different sessions. So if I want to show them work, I can easily just say, here, I've got, this and that. And it's my targeted, 15, 20 best from that boudoir shoot or, So I can really target people. So it's an awesome sales tool when I'm out and about. That's just really been an unexpected bonus that I didn't really, expect at all.
Very cool. I think that the portfolio piece gets overlooked, but I'm glad you brought it up. I think that the traditional portfolio, it's hard to get your clients or potential clients to start sharing your work with them. I think it's great when they do, and if they're really good stuff, and that's why it like you said, whenever I work with people to create a portfolio, I say make sure you're picking your very, very best work. You don't need to put in 30, 40 images. You need 10 to 12 of your very best that people are excited to share. And that what's great about, there's dozens and dozens of apps in the App Store that let you make cool portfolios for your own device. But what makes Sticky Albums so much better, I don't want to say better, it's just the one difference is that it's not stuck on your device. With a simple share of a link, now the consumer, the person you're sharing with, has the album on their own device to take with them. And that's where the value really lies.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, so let's go into, you've said so many cool things. I'm going to use that Seth Godin quote. I love Seth Godin. I think it takes so much to really snap each other out of this, to get somebody's attention anymore. When we're a small businesses trying to market ourselves, we're competing against so much noise. Not only so many other photographers, because don't mind you, the market is increasingly saturated, but just getting somebody's attention in general is really difficult to do nowadays. And we don't.
What'd you say? Sorry, I zoned out. I'm sorry.
No worries. That's so true.
That was such an easy setup.
Okay, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it goes back to word of mouth. Is that I found time and time again, I look back at my own business and how much of my business comes from word of mouth referral. And that just becomes increasingly important. The busier, the more digital, the more information that's out there, the more important that a word of mouth referral is. And that's what Sticky Albums focuses on, is making it easy for your clients to have those powerful referrals in person with people.
Yeah, which is why I love it. My business was 100% built on word of mouth, 100%. And nowadays, I value those clients because, I've already shot an ideal client. So I know when it's a referral from word of mouth, I know this is also an ideal client. So, it's much better for me. I hate to use the word better. I'll use different. When I have a referral than when I have someone that just, from Idaho stumbled upon my blog, for instance. Yep. So I very much push word of mouth, and this is a fabulous way to do that. So I can continue and go on and on, but we could talk about the other ways photographers are using them, and other ways that I have found that I can make my Sticky album kind of unique to me and more of as a branding tool.
Yeah.
One thing I love is that you can put a message to your client in the album too. Anything that you design as basically a JPEG. So at the start of the album, I love to say, if it's a family client, just a little message to her, just what I loved about her family, what in particular I loved about the shoot, and then what I like about her pictures. It's just such a short little, couple sentences, and then, love Christa. Like, you can handwrite it, and then just a snapshot, and that's the first image in the album.
Yeah. So
it's just like reinforcing. I do that usually in the ordering sessions. I said, your family is so sweet. You guys are crazy, but it was fun, and I'm glad we hung in there and went past the meltdown. I think the pictures are beautiful. They're joyous. They're funny and tender, all at the same time.
Yeah. So
something like that, and then love Christa, and I like to have that at the beginning of the album also. And with my logo, of course.
Yeah.
That's
really cool. I love that idea. That's really cool. I think it goes back to a point I wanted to make about tying into Seth Godin is the way. So number one, we're talking about word of mouth, but then the second part is, as a small business, we need to compete on customer service. That needs to be like your number one competitive advantage, because there's so many other people doing what we do that. And it doesn't make sense to try and compete on price. Why try to be the cheapest person out there?
Oh, let's not even get started. Yeah. No, heck no.
Exactly. And so what that leaves is how do you, nobody can copy you and what you bring to the table and the experience you can create. And so I always harp on the importance of amazing customer service. And the good news is it really isn't that hard. It doesn't take that much energy really to create that authentic, genuine experience. Like that little tiny detail you shared makes such an impact.
You have no, yeah, it
And
really does.
it
It's
doesn't
those
take you
small,
that much time, but it's that authentic. You take a moment and
yeah,
acknowledge the person for being them, for being unique, and making an impression on you, and that sets you apart because we day in
absolutely.
day out we don't. It's rare that we experience world class customer service.
Right. And
And
it's important. I love that authenticity is one of my favorite words. So, yes, authentic, personalized to them, and then unexpected. That's
yeah,
like
totally.
killer combo.
Yeah, exactly.
So, agreed.
Very cool.
So other ways I was thinking,
Yep.
I don't personally use it like this. Like I said, I like it. Keep it as a bonus surprise.
Yep.
I feel like my price list is pretty solid, and I don't want to futz around with it.
Yep.
But other photographers have used it as an incentive to reach a higher package level.
Right.
I think with some success.
Yep.
Do you want to talk a little bit about other ways?
I do. Yeah. I think the way you're using it is number one. The first way we recommend it is creating. It doesn't have to be a big album. 6 to 9 images is plenty to get that surprise and to is a total bonus. And I've had new members sign up and go back through their library the last year and create one of those free ones for every one of their customers. And it just revitalizes all. It gets their whole network buzzing again about and out sharing about their work. So that's number one. Number two is another good way to help increase the sales average. If you've already got your pricing set, I totally support your don't mess something that's working. But if you need a way to help increase your average, Sticky Albums is doing a really good job of that, where you only bundle the full album with 20 to 30 images with the premium print package or premium package of all your products.
Right. Sweet.
So yeah, those are the two popular. I really like your idea of adding that message, and so that's a good segue. Is once you get comfortable making these, people start to realize that, in its simplest sense, Sticky Albums is a publishing platform. It lets you publish a mini magazine or a mini app to any device in minutes, right? And so that is really powerful when you start to think of the different things, not just images, but anything that you can compress into a JPEG, you can turn into this custom app. And so that's what the last thing I want to talk about is I think one of your students, she gave me this great idea, is she was going to go do the Girls Night Out conference in New York City. And it's a way to really push out her brand, and she was like frustrated with, I don't want to go to another conference and just hand out a business card or a flyer or a brochure that ends up on the bottom of somebody's bag. I just don't want to do that again. How about I make a custom Sticky Album portfolio? I'm like, that's a great idea. And she built off of that. She said, well, then I'm going to put a coupon for my own work in there. But then she also went around to the different vendors at the show and got coupons from each of those. So she got coupons from a salon, from a lingerie vendor, and all of these different vendors that share the same customer as you, and created this awesome giveaway. It wasn't just like can I have your email address so I can bother you? It's, here, can I get your email address and I'll send you this great coupon book with $500 worth of coupons in it.
That's genius.
And so
genius.
I was really excited to hear that. And a lot of people are running with that idea, because whenever you're doing a conference, or I've even had senior photographers who have a studio in a mall. They went around to the different vendors in the mall and done the same thing. That whoever shares your customer is a partner for you, because they have the same. And so what the last part to this is, not only are you giving your potential customer something of value and something to get excited about and share with their friends, is each vendor you then partner with, they can share that same app. They're going to push their app because it has a coupon for them, and then in nature they're pushing everybody else. So now, instead of it's just you yourself out promoting yourself, now all of a sudden you've got this great network. And I think that's the way small businesses have to operate. You've got to make your team bigger by partnering with other people.
That's such a great idea. I love that. Now I have to go call all my vendors and partners and say, let's get some deals going on.
Exactly. So I was really excited to hear that. And the hands down, the coolest part of this whole venture for me has been working with creative people like yourself, and who think of the idea to add the custom note. Heather, who had the great idea to create this vendor coupon book. I would have never thought of that self on my own. And so this network of super creative people has just been such a blast to work with.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so grateful you thought this up. Seriously. I don't integrate new products often. I mean, like once in 8 years, honestly. Every year I go to WPPI and like I don't even look on the trade show floor anymore, really. But I do. I go around and nothing really strikes me as going to be compelling to my clients or adding much value. So anyway, yeah, I was really very impressed and continue to be and continue to use it and gain from it.
Cool.
So
well, thank you so much. That means a lot. I've worked a ton on this, and we continue to improve Sticky Albums with the feedback we're getting. Every month we're adding new features, and I know that we have to continue to work really hard to stay relevant. That if I just let Sticky Albums be as is, in a year we're going to be just as boring as everything else. And I don't want to say boring, but just as regular as everything else. And so we really continue to work hard to make it better and to listen to feedback. And our customers, my customers, are really helpful in helping us prioritize which features we add. Because there's all kinds of great ideas we have, and it helps to, again, what's great about having software as a service is you don't just pay for this once and then be done with it. Because you're paying for it ongoing, we're returning value ongoing, and it puts the onus right back on us as well to keep making the product better and better every month. So
right. And the other thing I just want to mention before we go, real quick, is that it's super easy. Like, I hate integrating new software and learning stuff. Again, it's just like, oh my gosh, another new thing. I got to figure this out. It was stupid easy, actually. So I was really grateful for that.
I'm putting that on our website.
You know, how long did I drag my feet on actually doing it? And then I was like, okay, let me just sit down. And like 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh, that's it? Done.
I'm putting that quote on my website. Sticky Albums is stupid easy. Yeah,
that sounds like me. All right. Well, cool. Thank you so much, Nate. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything in particular?
No, I'll just end with, if you haven't already, visit our website at StickyAlbums.com and give us your email address, and we'll send you a demo so you can see what these albums look like on your own device. One of the questions that always comes up right away is, does it work with Android? It does. Read the FAQ section on our blog that tells you the differences. For the most part, it does. That's what you need to take away. Also, check the blog for our custom feature. Speaking of custom features we created just for Bourgeois people that ask for it, is a password lock. And so you can add a password to each album, and then the client can relock it. So even though they enter it the first time to put it on their phone, if they've got kiddos who like to play with the iPad,
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm sorry to interrupt. Okay. Because, you know, when the dads put the boudoir on their phone, you know, a lot of kids play with dad's phone, so it's important that that feature is available.
Yeah. Dad just has to make sure. He just has to make sure to relock it when he's done. So once you add the password, and then when you're done, you hit relock, and it requires another password again.
Right. And I know we're not going to talk about anything like time-sensitive related right now, but we do have a special Meola deal. So you'll have to look down on the blog, read further, and, you know, I don't know when you're watching this, so it might not apply anymore, but anyway, I did want to add that.
If you're part of the cool kids and you're watching now, read below. So yeah, absolutely. So Christa, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed chatting with you. I look forward to working with you more in the future. We've got great things coming, so thanks so much again.
Thank you, Nate.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.